Look, little people need love too. All right.
Absolutely.
They do.
They do, man.
They do.
Really do. Look, when
Just
I
a
see
little,
it,
though.
and when I
Just a little.
and when I see one of them out in public, my wife has to be like, "Babe, you can't keep staring at them." Yes. Welcome back to the Blunt Lab. I'm Al, joined by my brothers Marcus, Rick, and Sean. What's going on, fellas?
Chilling. How you doing?
Sup. Happy
All right.
Sunday.
Today we will be discussing and reviewing the show Echo on Marvel. On Disney.
You have so much pain in you. So much rage that you can't contain it. You and I are the same. So
We'll start with we'll go ahead and we'll start with you, Sean.
Oh, fantastic.
What'd you think of the show?
You guys know that I'm a big Marvel fan. We've talked about it before. I've immersed myself pretty much in that universe. This wasn't my favorite entry, I'm going to be honest. I know that they're focusing on more of a character-driven thing rather than going too out the box and getting all crazy with it like they do in Avengers, but there was something that was lost in translation, I feel. And maybe it's the characters. I didn't find a lot of fantastic acting. Some of the guys in there are well-known, like Scully. I believe he plays the grandfather figure. He's been in a bunch of different movies where they utilize Native Americans. So familiar face. He's great. There's a couple guys that are in there that are real, notable. But as far as watching the main actress, I believe her name is Alaqua Cox. I feel like you can get more emotional range out of an inanimate object. And I understand that's kind of part of the character too. So maybe she's just that good of an actor that she really sold that. But I don't know, man. I really didn't find a whole lot of joy in what was going on. It wasn't as cohesive as I'd like for it to be. Like you got this spoiler cameo, Clint Barton, Hawkeye, comes in for like 3 seconds and he kind of gives this little speech and motivates her. And then the next scene, she's pretty much forgotten about it.
You and I were the same. When you're filled with rage, it makes you blind. It can be used, be manipulated.
So yeah, I feel like it was definitely a miss as far as hit versus miss. They actually had planned the show for 6 episodes, and given their writing, I think they had issues with writing and budget. So they cut it down to 5, which is more than enough to tell the story that they told. There wasn't a whole lot contained. I feel like it's a little bit more dribble from Marvel Disney. Wasn't super happy with it. I'm waiting for better projects from them. That being said, I'm going to rate Echo probably 2 blunts. I can't possibly give it more. This is definitely not my fave. What you guys think?
See that. Well, we'll shoot to you, Rick. What'd you think?
Echo, Did I feel like I was, blasted out of my seat? Well, no. I don't think it was meant to be that. I do strongly believe it is part of, the Marvel and Disney semi-woke kind of conversation in terms of what they're putting out for content. I really did enjoy Maya. I do believe, too, she won an award last night. I think she won the first Native American to win a movie award. Pretty happy about that. And although it did kind of keep catering to what Disney's putting out with Marvel, other than that, I loved it. I thought, it was a great introduction for the character, and because I think from everything that I've read and I understand, that's what it was meant to do, was sort of introduce it so that she can be a part of the next big one that sort of storyline is going to go down. I really like the introduction of Kingpin. I mean, Vincent is just an amazing actor. I don't think we got to see him enough necessarily, but being able to see the range, not just Vincent's range. I mean, he's an amazing actor, but just the character himself. Kingpin kind of goes through these just like emotional kind of roller coasters, and it's kind of fun to watch that. I did enjoy that they literally didn't put any kind of like romantic sort of storyline in it. There were certain things about it that I really liked. It was some of the better fight choreography that we've seen in a Marvel movie too, as of late. And that was a lot of fun. They did only have brief entrances for Daredevil and for Hawkeye. I thought maybe we'd get a little bit more from them, but not really. You know, it was only kind of one scene each.
I've been watching them all night. And then you guys show up.
But they were, definitely staples in it. We're definitely going to see her in Daredevil, and I think that's a big part of it. Overall, the series is a fun watch with the kids. The kids enjoyed it. We kind of watched it from front to back. We didn't want to stop. You know what I mean? So I with that, I recommend it for, folks that are going to like that type of thing. I give it 2.5 blunts, simply for its merits. But again, like Sean said, it wasn't exactly the strongest, like, powerful acting performance or storyline.
Got it. Brother Marcus.
Well, I mean, I enjoyed it, to be completely honest. There was definitely like more pros than cons to me. I mean, there's definitely things that they could have improved upon story-wise and acting-wise, but as far as the characters concerned, like, I would say introduction, because they did introduce her in the Hawkeye series, but like just to expand upon her story. Like, I enjoyed it. Like Rick said, the fight choreography was way better than what we've been getting. I love the TVMA approach, and it makes me think about, like, I put it in context of the other Marvel, like Disney Plus TV shows. Like, I would put it above a lot of those because I feel like that approach should have been taken years ago. Like, I understand certain stories should be PG-13 or, for like children or whatnot, but a show like a Daredevil or Echo or a Punisher, hell, Moon Knight, with the amount of killing and craziness that goes on in some of these stories, like, I feel like that's the approach that should be taken. But as far as the show itself, like, I enjoyed it. Love seeing Daredevil. I'm glad that they didn't have more of him in it, because I feel like it might have taken away from her story and like let it be hers. And I will say, though, with that being said, Kingpin could have been in it a little bit more. I do like their little dynamic and like everything that went into that. Love Vincent. Fucking so glad that he's back as Kingpin.
Wait here, Maya. Uncle has something he needs to do. Yes, I need a new jacket. I don't want Maya.
And I don't know, man. I would probably rate it like a 3.5 in context. Like, as far as like a show itself, maybe 3. But a Marvel show and what they've put out the last few years, I'd probably lean more 3, 5, maybe even 4. Because it's not that I don't like any of the Marvel shows. Like, I've liked all of them, but they've definitely left a lot to be desired. And I feel like this is just a start, you know? If this is the approach they're going to take, you know, Deadpool 3 coming out later this year, I don't know. I feel more optimistic after watching it than I did, you know, prior to it. So I go 3.5.
3.5? Not bad, not bad. I didn't hate the show. I'll point out what I didn't like about the show, because you guys had mentioned budget and how many episodes and so forth or what have you. Well, they scratched out the Tracksuit Mafia. The Tracksuit, you know, Maya's a part of the Tracksuit Mafia. They should have been on the show for some reason. Whoever was writing or directing the show didn't like the Tracksuit Mafia, so essentially kind of wrote them off. The first episode, essentially, you had the season finale of Hawkeye on it, which is why he makes that appearance on there. Says what he says to her, you know, because she was trying to kill him because she believed that he was responsible for her father's death and so forth, or what have you, which is why he had to have that convo with her. We never see her on Daredevil. So I guess that new addition was, you know, pretty decent. The fact that she held her own, as Kingpin put it, against the Daredevil, I mean, let's be serious. We know he's whooping that ass hands down. All right? So let's just stop with the fuck shit. Then you take a street thug of shit. You know, I like her as an actress. She's phenomenal, because I believe she is really deaf in real life. What she's doing on camera, you know, essentially for a deaf person, you're not going to get much more out of that. She's been great, but you can't really sell me on a street thug having superpowers all of a sudden. Because, I mean, we all see what she does to Kingpin. We all know that doesn't change Kingpin as a person in the comic or, you know, anywhere else. So I didn't know where they were going with the superpower thing. I love all the Native American thing that they were doing with it. Most of that cast, if you guys have seen the movie Twilight, most of those Native Americans playing Native Americans on Echo were on Twilight, especially the guy who was like essentially the granddad or what have you.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've seen him on there, you know, playing the same kind of role. You know, I think he's hilarious. I think he's good.
It's awesome.
For me, I gave the show about 3 blunts out of 5. You know, again, I didn't hate it. There was just certain things that, again, that I had a problem with. The Tracksuit Mafia should have been a big part of this, as they were in Hawkeye. And I agree with you guys, we should have seen Kingpin a little bit more, especially if they had that uncle-niece relationship. I mean, you get a little bit of it in the show, but not enough of it to be like, okay, they're really this tight or what have you. But again, sure. I give it 3 out of 5 blunts. I think it's, you know, I recommend the show, especially for kids to watch as well.
Yeah.
I hope moving. I haven't checked out the 2nd season of Loki, so I don't know what they did there. I know they were trying to write off Jonathan Majors' character, so I'm not sure of what they did there. I'm going to watch that.
It's a good watch.
Let's see the Marvel. It's a good watch? Okay.
It's a good watch. It's definitely worth a watch, and it wraps up that storyline nicely, considering they couldn't do what they were trying to.
Gotcha. So that'll definitely get a watch for me. So I see the only one that really didn't like the show is our brother Sean.
It's not to say that I didn't like it. I mean, like I said, I appreciate what Marvel's doing, but as far as some of their other projects, I just didn't see it. And like you guys hit the nail on the head with some of the negative things. I guess they impacted me more than others. Like I don't see I understand that she fought for Kingpin for all those years, and she was like one of the best assassins in the group. But then they make her just like, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's out of the box, like just the best fighter. Like, she's incredible. She's just so good, and she just goes in there, beats everybody's ass, and impresses everybody. I get it, but to be that level of fighter where she can hold up with Daredevil, they don't give her that kind of training. They don't give her that kind of backstory. So they're to lead you to believe that it's just inherent. I don't know, bro.
Well, let me kind of combat that, because one of the main things that I really enjoyed about the show was how they made it a point to show us how that power has passed down. So similar to some other stories that we've seen, like The One, you know, with Jet Li, and also The Matrix 2, The One, like how they sort of get the powers and some of the knowledge from the previous. So as they start to sort of activate that power, they're a lot It's not like they spent their whole life honing in the power, and it's not like Superman where they were just born with it out the gate. She had to sort of like go through like a pubescent stage, if you will, to gain those powers from her ancestors. And it was really cool how they went back and showed what they did in their times. That shit was awesome. Like when they went back and showed the original, when she came out there and was playing the game with them and beat that big dude, yeah, that shit was awesome.
And
I love that.
It's cool that they gave that kind of power to her too, as far as representing that Native American and especially that Choctaw influence. Because if you look at like a lot of ancient cultures, that shamanism is about that and connecting with your ancestors and bringing them back to help you in times of need. So essentially, she's like a super powerful shaman, like her whole family line, and that's how that usually happens. So I like that they added that in and kind of that element of Native American culture. So I mean, that's cool, and I'm not doubting what they did. I just don't think that as far as, you know, the 5 episodes, I just don't think that it amounted to an entire, I don't know, an experience for me. It was kind of like just more layering on top of what you already know. It was.
And going back to the fighting, out of all the Marvel shows, Daredevil is number 1 as far as fight choreography is concerned.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
What the disappointing one to me would have to be Iron Fist. You know.
Well, especially considering how good he is in the comics.
Exactly. You know, Iron Fist is a kung fu master.
Yeah.
You know, so I expected the fight scenes in Iron Fist to be 10 times better than what I saw in Daredevil. It was 10 times worse.
Let me ask you this though. You saw it and I didn't. I didn't bother with Iron Fist because I kind of figured that's how it was going to go. Do you believe that was more the writing or more the act? Was that a casting issue? Because I like the guy in Game of Thrones, despite some of the storyline that they dropped off and everything. Like, he's a good actor, but I don't know if
it was writing.
Yeah,
I'd go with the writing.
Yeah,
they should have used Daredevil's people. They should have used them for Punisher and everything. Defenders, like everything Netflix was doing, it should have been one team doing it.
Yeah,
I didn't think the acting was bad. Like I like was it Ben, whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, the
Game
acting,
of Thrones. I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, the actors did what they were supposed to do in Iron Fist with what they were given. The writing definitely should have been way better, and the choreography.
Yeah.
Come on, you saw the finished product before you had us see it. You mean to tell me after watching Daredevil, you're gonna put this bullshit in my fucking face as a kung fu master at that? As a kung fu,
yeah,
really?
At that, yeah.
I mean, come on, Luke Cage, the big brolic bully, had better fight scenes in his shit, and he doesn't know kung fu.
Well, I think that's why Daredevil did as well as it did, though, too. Daredevil came out the box just being ass, and the court, like they talk about, there's still those hallway fight scenes are still talked about as far as fight choreography. Then
Between
honestly,
that and the Punisher?
I haven't seen Punisher. I still haven't watched John Bernthal's Punisher, and he's awesome. I can't wait to see him on screen. Like, if they bring him back into what they're trying to do with Marvel is they're breaking in their street level team, which is, I think Spider-Man's eventually going to go there, but it's going to be like Punisher and Elektra, Daredevil, all those cats. So I like Marcus's idea of kind of keeping that rated R because it's the streets. They get dirty out there, and there's some storylines that get pretty rough. So I think that maintaining that adult approach is probably best for those stories.
I keep reading that this that Daredevil 4 is going to get a really huge kick. Like the studio is really loving what they're getting for our response internally so far. And I also too I didn't Daredevil 2 talk about Echo? Didn't he bring her up or something in Daredevil 2? I want to rewatch Daredevil 2.
Is there even a second movie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he brought her up.
Well, season 2 maybe.
Season 2.
The second season.
Okay, I was like, they better not have made another movie with Ben Affleck. That was terrible.
As far as mentioning
Straight to video
season 2 of Daredevil, I don't recall and I don't believe so. Okay, that's something I would have picked up because I've watched Daredevil like 5 times already, and I don't remember. I might have missed it.
I was just curious if you guys had recalled seeing, because I've only kind of watched some of Daredevil. I haven't watched all the episodes, all the seasons, and definitely not in order. And I feel like I was reading something, or there was a discussion, and they talked about her introduction in the second season and how it was pretty lame-o, and they were glad that they made this movie. No, Echo.
Oh, Echo.
And
they're tying it all together, so they will be at some point meeting each other again.
And Bernthal's Punisher.
They're tied together because of the Tracksuit Mafia. So whoever did Echo that has a problem with the Tracksuit Mafia, they should kick that person in his ass with a steel-toed boot straight the fuck out the door.
I feel like Ronan, I gotta rewatch Hawkeye, but I feel like he killed a lot of them though.
Oh, the Tracksuit Mafia is deep.
But yeah,
but
I understand that part. Yeah, they
they
do run deep.
Yeah, you saw a fraction of the Tracksuit Mafia in Daredevil. That's just that particular area. But the Tracksuit Mafia runs way deeper than what they showed you in Hawkeye, which is why I'm kind of pissed they didn't elaborate a little bit more with Echo, because, again, they're tied in together.
Oh, there's one thing I did want to add. I'm pretty sure old girl is an amputee in real life.
Yes.
I know the character is, but I'm pretty sure she is. So that's another thing pretty cool.
Yeah, she is a talent, bro. She's a talent.
Yeah.
Well, you guys make me feel terrible. I don't want to hate on her achievements. I didn't find her acting super emotional or real involved, but
I feel like that was the character. Like, I felt like you said that, Sean. Like, I think that was the way that the character.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, if that was how it was supposed to come off,
I don't know about her range.
Bravo, great job. But I was just like,
and like I was saying, I feel like they invoked the wokeness via the story itself versus taking another story, which they've been doing, and just like kind of emphasizing on that stuff when it really has nothing to do with the story. It's okay to have a female hero. It's okay to talk about the love lives, et cetera, but when that's the focal point, like focusing on one of them being gay, or focusing on one of them being trans, or focusing on them being really anti-right wing, you know what I mean? Like the type of things that you see in these movies. I think they did a really good job, like staying on their narrative.
Those things that they've been
without,
showing us,
focusing on it.
Those folks that are showing us and spreading those agendas are the ones that are really not a fan of the comic book themselves. So they're expressing their artistic views through these heroes and characters, which I'm completely against. Let me just, keep your agenda up your own ass.
Yep.
In your own house. I don't give a fuck about it.
Just tell the story.
Just tell the story. The story
also
is
an axe to grind against the companies like Marvel that have been doing this for years, that have always had that kind of white patriarchal thing. So a lot of people, I understand that there's this angst and built up kind of animosity against that. But yeah, to come in and kind of ruin the company and take down all the traditions of it and just ruin it from the inside out, I don't know that that's the right way to handle it.
America. Sorry, I was reading something.
I mean, it seems as if Marvel is starting to turn into DC as far as movies are concerned.
Ew.
Or shows, and I'm hoping that's not.
I'm holding
for their sake. It better
I'm
not.
Holding that hope, man. Deadpool 3 could be the thing that like turns it back around, man. Like that should be the thing.
I feel like as a Marvel Marcus, you're right. I think as a Marvel fan, I think everybody's waiting for Deadpool 3 to come out and see how we're all going to feel about Phase 4 and 5 moving
For
forward.
real.
Like we're all
Like,
Phase
please.
5. Yeah, it's kind of like if Deadpool's
Like,
an L,
oh.
we're all in trouble.
I only really like the obscure stories. Sean, I'm sure you can testament to this. I've never really been a big comic guy. I've never really been into too many of the superhero stuff. As I've mentioned to you guys on the show before, I really am more of a traditional DC guy, not the movies, the storylines and stuff. I'm a Superman,
And the
Batman
cartoons.
guy.
The
And the
DC
cartoon.
cartoons are phenomenal. The DC
Exactly.
cartoons are
The
phenomenal.
animated,
No, for sure.
They got it.
And so for me, like I am a little overwhelmed with the amount of Marvel stuff. So I like the obscure stuff like Deadpool. Like I would much rather watch 17 different Deadpool movies than watch too many more fucking X-Men, Sean.
Well, I mean, if you look at just Ryan Reynolds is a lot more tolerable than like a Chris Evans on a long-term basis.
Hey, the same way Blade saved Marvel, the same way Blade saved Marvel, Deadpool saved Marvel as well.
Agreed.
Because
That's true.
Marvel
Well,
was
I think Blade's going to do it again too. If they make this next one coming out with Ali, I think it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait. I know Marcus looking forward to it too. We talked about this.
Yeah.
If it does what it's supposed to
yeah.
do in terms of movie content, if it makes the movie that it's supposed to be, I can't be more excited. I love Blade, man. That's one of my favorites.
Hell
Just
yeah.
the character.
And Wesley
say this
co-signed
too.
it too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wesley co-signed him.
This is for Sony. Since they have the rights to Spider-Man, Morbius, Venom, I just want to say to the people at Sony, every last one of you are a bunch of fucking idiots. I don't understand how you have all this fucking money and you can't put out the comic book is a great product. You mean to tell me that you can't translate that to the screen? Look what the MCU has done. You have taken great heroes and villains and turned them into horseshit, just like they did the X-Men series. You guys are fucking morons.
Yeah.
The comic book tells you how you should
crazy
do
is
it.
MCU's done it with less material too. You got 40, 50 years of Spider-Man material to deal with to put on screen, and you can't figure out a good story to tell or how to tell it. Like, really?
They keep making Spider-Man like adjacent movies, like Spider-Man movies without Spider-Man in it. It's like,
You got to think. A lot of these characters don't get introduced just because they want us to see them. They want to sell shit, and Sony is at the forefront of that. Sony wants to sell shit, so they use the characters that sell not just products, obviously, but sell like narratives, so that they can have long-lasting marketing things going on. And Spider-Man's the key to that. I mean, look, a big key of that. Look how many times they've changed it, and you know what I mean? Like, how many different Spider-Mans do we have? We had now, like, even almost as many
3,
as Batman.
4. Yeah.
Well, what sucks is they'll keep on like taking a product like Spider-Man and grinding it into the ground and not give it back to the rightful people that it should go to, who can make a decent movie, just because at the end of the day they're making a bunch of money off of that. Like, they're not making as much as Marvel could, or the people that could tell the story right, but they're still making a shit ton off that property. So it's just greedy. They're not going to let it go. They're going to sit there and continue to drive it into the goddamn ground.
They can put shit content out because they know little kids that doesn't really matter how good the fucking movie is. They're still going to want the lunch boxes and the fucking, and the web slingers.
Exactly.
So to wrap that up, Sony, fuck your couch. But if you want me to be in one of your movies, hit me up. I'm willing to be in one of those terrible movies. So moving on. Rick wanted to discuss foot fetishes.
It did.
What did you just say?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna put you out there, Rick. You wanted to discuss this. You did this.
Yeah, it's all up in a message the other day talking about it.
All right, so listen, guys. To everyone that doesn't have backstory or content here, we were all having a conversation post-show one day, and we kind of got into this conversation.
You were having a conversation.
I've always wondered, what is it with? Because I think foot feet are nasty. I don't think that they have any place in yumminess, and so a foot fetish to me is something that I'm really curious about. Like, I legitimately want to know, and I hope to engage some of our listeners. Get into the comments, try, get in touch with us in direct messaging or whatnot. Tell me why you have a foot fetish.
Tell me why.
Let me know.
I really want to know. So I wanted to kind of ask you guys, like, on the show, and it's not just limited to feet, Fetishes in general, like what kind of causes particular fetishes? Like, what are you getting out of it? I mean, it's easy to say, oh, I get some sort of sexual gratification about anything. It's easy for like Marcus to tell us that if a nut felt any better, he might die. But why does a foot or some obscure thing, bring you to that point? Like, I've done some legitimate research, and some of the reasons why people have foot fetishes make sense, but other ones it's just, okay, I'm going to take it back. A fetish is a fetish. But if you're willing to like go on the internet,
don't kink shame.
Please don't kink shame me.
Seek out strangers and then pay obscure amounts of money for both pictures and different like proof that it's your feet type of things. And it goes across the board. There's all kinds of things that are in there. But why I can understand why guys like panties, for example. But feet, you guys got to give me your opinions on this. And you got to tell me, what is it with feet? Why do you, before I go into anything that I've learned, each of you tell me why you think foot fetishes exist.
Well, I don't know why they exist, but I'll go as, well, for me, I'll say this. I don't hate feet the way you guys hate feet. There are certain characteristics about people and their feet that I hate, like people who don't clean their feet, maintain their feet. Now, as far as dudes are concerned, I can give a fuck about a dude because I'm not trying to fuck a dude. So fuck you and your feet. I have ugly feet, But see, here's the thing that I know about having ugly feet. Number one, absolutely do not wear open-toed shoes. If your feet are busted, do not wear open-toed shoes. Now, if you want to know what an ugly foot looks like, Google Oprah Winfrey's feet.
God damn.
Not only is she ugly as a human being, but she has ugly feet. When I'm telling you her feet are disgusting,
that kind of money?
The sight of her feet would make me want to vomit. If you're a girl with a foot, if you have a humongous knot on the side of your foot, you shouldn't be exposing that to the world. We don't want to see that ugly shit. All right. If you're not going to get rid of that golf ball, cover your fucking foot. We don't want to see it. That shit is ugly. If your toes are all gnarly and all crunched up together, cover your fucking foot up. We don't want to see it.
I mean, but when you put a foot in your mouth?
Hell no. I'll go into that in a minute. If you have cracks in your feet, because you don't take care of them or moisturize, cover your fucking foot up. We don't want to see that shit. That shit is ugly. Now, going into pretty feet, what makes a foot pretty? Nice toes, a nice arch, good skin tone, no cracked feet. Yeah. For me, I believe it started, I want to say I noticed that I liked looking at pretty feet in the second grade. My second grade teacher was a hottie who liked to sit in front of the class with her shoes off. She had nice arches, nice toes, and she was a hot lady. And she smelled good too.
You nailed it.
All those kind of things.
Just a whole
all those kind of things kind of played it. Now, as far as putting a foot in my mouth, chicks are disgusting. They like to walk around barefoot all over the place.
Oh, you're a pig.
What? What are you talking about?
So even if you wash your foot, you're pretty much sticking your foot back into something that your feet were dirty in the beginning anyway. So you're only re-dirtying your feet when you're sticking a clean foot back into your dirty. So yeah, you're not putting your foot in my mouth. Don't put it in my face, because that might end in domestic violence. So just keep your feet clean, keep them nice. I like painted toes, those kind of things. But for me, that's where the foot fetish, that's as far as the foot fetish goes. There's no sexual pleasure. I just like the sight of a pretty foot.
Get it?
That's aesthetically.
And you kind of nailed it too when you talked about the teacher. Real talk, getting kind of medical with it all. That's what the majority of doctors say, that just like with most fetishes and different things like that, it's a sensory thing when you're younger. So sometime like in our pre-pubescent to pubescent stage, somebody that we were attracted to either had really nice feet or something about their feet, right, made you think about them. So, they say the closest sense tied to memory is scent. So as soon as you
I don't
smell
mean to
something,
cut you off.
Yep.
But Sean is sucking the shit out of that thing, and you hear him choking too, right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pause.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Pause.
But please continue, sir.
So I can deal with the foot
That's
talk.
But that's what the doctors basically say, is that it relates back to that either A, like somebody you were super attracted to had really nice feet, or something about them like brought you to their feet, and that's why it exists, which was kind of interesting. And to throw it out there before you, Marcus and Sean, say what you got to say about it, part of what stemmed this conversation was we had a friend come over and sit down with us, at the fire like we do. And at that fire, for some reason, our fire pit pulls crazy shit out of people. So she proceeds to tell us, we were like, oh, hey, we haven't seen you with XYZ boyfriend in some time. And they had been together a while. It wasn't like they only been together a couple of weeks. They had been together like a couple of years. She's sitting there at the fire like, oh, kind of what happened? And well, I woke up in the middle of the night and he was touching my feet and jerking off.
Say what now?
And I just, I couldn't see him the same anymore like that. So I had to leave him. Like, of all things to leave a person over. So it brings me back to the point of like, yeah, of course. Like, if you're into that, tell your partner. But I guess I don't get it.
Well, who was this? Because I know the people by your fire. You're going to have to tell me after that.
I'll tell you after the show. But long story short, I had to know from you guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like, where do you, I don't get it.
I want to talk to the dude that was jerking off at her feet.
That's the one. That's the guy you should be talking to. I mean, I'm sure you did. Well, maybe not. I'd probably be like,
he's not somebody you really want to hang out with for long. He gives super creeper vibes. He's like definitely a creeper.
Well, see that
doesn't really add to the validity of his kink.
She was asleep. Yeah, exactly. She woke up to it. He was at the bottom of the bed, like.
Oh, that's rapey, dude. That's
rapey.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's an arrangement you gotta have before they go to sleep or some shit. You can't just.
I mean, what else is he trying to do to her while she's sleeping?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna fuck with feet, like that's where it starts. I feel like you crossing some lines already.
Have you ever met anybody with a foot fetish that wasn't kind of?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like that explains a lot.
I mean, I've met guys with foot fetishes that aren't creepers like that. They just, like me, like a pretty foot, but they'll go the extra. They'll fuck a foot, suck a foot, and things like that. But they won't do it while she's sleeping. And I mean, that's disgusting.
Like, I'll rub your feet right out the shower, but that's about it.
I mean, even then, dog, I got to make sure those sandals are sanitized. I mean, I'm just not putting a foot in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like sucking on toes and all that. Like, I don't get it.
That's what
I don't.
Look, man, I'm about nature. Like, I like walking around with no shoes, and I feel like everybody should at least once in a while. Like, I feel like that's good stuff. Feet don't bother me at all. Like, not really. I don't really care. You put a foot in front of my, I'm like, foot out of my face. But if we're messing around, it's like, suck on my toe. I'm gonna look at you like, what?
What?
No, we're not.
40-year-old virgin.
We're not doing that. No, but there's other people that I've met that have like real issues with it too. Like, they have like that phobia, the foot phobia. So the other side of things, like there was this girl that I was dating, and like it wasn't like I was playing footsie. Our foot accidentally touched, and she tripped out. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean? What am I doing?" Our feet touched, and she like left. She's like, I'm gone. I have to leave. And she bugged out and left. And I was like, what the fuck? And she apologized the next day. She's like, I'm sorry. I had this foot thing. And I'm like, that's not usually how I've seen a foot thing go, but all right.
That's how it goes for me.
And she's like, do you really like my feet that much? I was like, not really. I don't really care. It wasn't that big of a deal.
What about you, Marcus? What's your take on feet?
Honestly, man, I lean more towards like what Al's talking about. Like, it's not like a sexual gratification thing, but it's like a aesthetic thing. Like, I like, and it's almost like with anything on a woman, like a beautiful woman or a woman that you love. Like, I feel like the woman's body is so beautiful. Yep. I love like every crevice, crack of it. So like a nice pedicured foot, nice arch, all that, like, it's beautiful. Now, no, I'm not gonna be jerking off to them. I'm not gonna be sucking on them. But like, I don't know, like, it's just like an aesthetic thing. Like, I just feel like it's not even like a hygiene, just like a well put together. Like, you take care of these things. Like, you have your nails and shit done. Like, I don't know. I kind of lean that way. Like, it's not like a gratification, but it is like an aesthetic thing that I do appreciate.
definitely get that.
You take care of your feet. You take care of you.
Like Al said, if your feet are busted,
Yeah,
what
like
the
I
hell
said,
else is
I
going
take
on?
care of my feet, but I have ugly toes, so I keep them covered.
You just
know,
can't change
same-
that. That just is what it is. Well, it's
So
like
people with
for me,
ugly
it's like
feet, Walker.
it's like smell. Like you don't need to smell nice when you go out and about. If you look good, you're doing your thing. You know, you take care of yourself. That's fine. But if you smell nice and people come up and walk by and they smell you, they're just like, oh, damn, it's that extra layer. So if you take care of your feet, yeah, that's extra layer.
What about fetishes in general? I mean, do you guys, that you're willing to express, do you guys, any of you guys have any
Y'all
kind of like
kink shame.
obscure fetish? You know what I mean? Like, who's kink shaming? I'm promoting it.
Like fetish specifically, I don't really think so. I mean, I do like to choke.
They're midgets.
Like choke to the point of like pass
Not
out
choke
game,
midgets,
or
but
like, or
midgets.
just like,
I don't.
okay.
I don't want you passing
That's
out because I don't want
different.
to get that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want to
get in trouble.
Nothing to get the
usually
law
she-
involved. Just fun.
You know, usually she has to like it. You know what I mean? But I don't mind doing it because I've been with chicks who want to like get hit. I'm not hitting you
No.
because you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
I'm
just a little
definitely
cheap.
against pain in general when it comes to it. That's one thing I've never understood. Also, like I understand
Don't bite
like
me.
tug on the nip a little bit, nibble a little bit, but like biting to the point of pain
Mhm.
or like hitting each other and shit like that, don't get it. Doesn't make any sense
Bro.
to me.
No.
Rick, did you ever meet that?
No, that kind of shit makes me want to fight. You bite me?
God, bro.
I mean, we fight.
We fighting.
I don't know what else. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean,
Listen,
I don't know what.
listen.
Don't fight. No bite.
So there was this girl that I was hanging out with, and we were getting kind of hot and heavy on the bed, and I took off my belt and I set it down, and she looked at it. She got these wide eyes, and she grabs my belt, and she fucking holds it up like this, like my dad used to and shit. And I was like, "The fuck you doing?" This girl took my belt and slapped the shit out of me with it, and she's like, "Do what I say."
Well, let me tell you something, Vladimir. You don't know what rough is until you've dealt with a true African queen. Let me get my stick. Kneel to Nzinga!
And I was like, "The fuck, bitch? No, hell no! You put my goddamn belt down." She looked at me, I shit you not, and she's like, "I'm the one that tells you what to do. You're gonna listen to me." And she hit me again. I said, "Bitch, you got one more. We're not fucking
Your
around
safe
like
word.
that. I'm not
Wolfie,
fucking around."
Wolfie.
Yeah, like I
Your
don't know what
safe
you think
word.
you're doing. It's starting some shit, but I just told you no. Give me my belt.
You are a better person than me because after that first one, my hands
First one,
would
I
have
was
been
like-
around her neck. Now it goes to what Rick. It goes to what Rick asked me. Is it to the pass out stage? At that point, you're gonna pass out. I'm gonna make sure you pass out. I'm going to choke you till you
Any of you
pass
guys?
out. If you
Any of you guys ever used a basket?
A
I
basket?
call it. Yeah, the
What can you
spin
do with a
basket, the Chinese basket, where you can like, you know,
Oh, the
hang
Chinese,
some-
the
Give me out with a-
ceiling basket. I mean, like,
yeah,
I've seen
Chinese
them.
basket.
Just,
But hold up, I thought that move was only possible with a midget with no legs.
Oh, no.
You seen some weird shit.
All you need is a little
Hey,
bit of
look.
flexibility. A little bit of
A
flexibility.
legless midget.
Now, if the foot slaps you on the face,
Legless
it's
midget.
better if she has no legs.
Well,
You
like
just
that's the whole
assist
thing.
her.
Like
I mean, it's better. How's it better if she has no legs? Wait, what?
you got to get kind of flat, and she's got to be able to get her legs out. And yeah, she has no legs.
He said,
don't
"Well,
wanna
it's better
risk
if she
getting
has no
kicked in-
legs." I mean, yeah, I guess for some things.
I don't
Not
want to
for
risk getting kicked
jogging.
in the face.
No, whatever.
Oh,
You
getting
call it
kicked in the
nasty.
face.
I call it.
Man, I got tears in my eyes. Legless midget.
And if there's no legs,
Oh man, no legs.
Well,
You
I
get to
mean,
go.
I'm
I think
sure.
Oh, is that a fetish?
Wait.
Like midgets?
I was gonna. Well, I mean, in midgets in general, are we gonna skip the fact that out of the four of us, there's one that really likes midgets? Is
No,
that
I
not
mean,
a fetish?
listen, I was going to say it a little bit differently. I was just going to say many years ago, I want to say like 14, 15 years ago, one of my real close friends looked at me and described to me about that, right? And I kind of looked back at him and I thought about that a little, probably thought about it a little more than I probably should have, especially with the dynamic. You know, my dude back then was like real, like big too. So you're like, you know, every time I see a little person now, I literally think of that. Like I cannot see a little person and not think about it. Just I can't.
Look, little people need love too. All right.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah,
do.
they do, man.
They do.
Really do.
And look, when
Just
I
a
see
little though.
and when I
Just a little.
and when I see one of them out in public, my wife has to be like, "Babe, you can't keep staring at them."
Stop staring.
I'm like, in my 47 years, I've had a ton of friends, all kinds of friends, different races, whatever, you name it. But I'd have never, ever, ever had a midget friend. Or is that still politically incorrect?
I'm pretty
I
sure
don't
you're
think
saying
so,
little
man. I think midget, but it applies to a certain type of
But some of them will use the word dwarf, and some will use like little person. I don't really hear too many call
It's
themselves
specific.
midget. It's probably like the N-bomb.
Not.
They say it to each other.
Hey, little person. Hey, little person sounds worse than
I
all
know.
of them, bro.
That's what I'm saying. They prefer to be called that. It's like, why? It doesn't sound like you got an idea. Call me a little person. Really?
Yeah, that's
Midget is so
that.
much stupid. You mean to tell me they're going to try to change the name from midget tossing to little people tossing? That don't make no sense.
Oh shit, bro. Damn.
Well, it
That's
doesn't
not
seem
really
nearly as
Wall
funny
Street.
there. I was gonna say that applies to a lot of
No,
people.
How did he word it? He's like, I'm pretty sure we can launch him, but we can't have them doing sexual acts because then it's like exploitation.
That's crazy.
Should we try to have a little person on the show and like let them tell us what they think?
So don't they get
they
upset?
don't.
No, they love it.
They love it.
Hey,
Wow.
look, just don't
That'd be
don't
dope.
call him an elf, because I see what happens when you call him an elf.
You can't
Oh,
call
don't
them
do that.
elves.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, elves
they
are
will
different
fight you.
though, too. Elves got the ears; they'll bite you. They'll fight you. But now, like they got the ears and stuff. Elf is whole different.
Just to kind of wrap up the foot fetish part of that whole thing, and most doctors do say it's absolutely a healthy thing. I feel like the opposite. Like I'm not a doctor, but I feel
Germs.
like the dirtiness from a foot, there's got to be a lot of germs involved, especially if you're trying to fuck them.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, especially if
those
the
up
person
there.
is dirty. The
Don't
person is
put those
dirty.
up there.
Mm,
My wife
That's
has
just
this story.
yeah.
My wife has this story about one time she was sitting like out on her front porch in the middle of the day, didn't have no shoes on, you know what I mean? And a construction worker walked by and looked over at her and said, "Hey girl, what's it gonna take to get them dirty feet on my white sheets?" And I was like, "Oh my God, are you fucking
Oh,
kidding me?"
Keep your fucking dirty ass feet off my sheets. I promise you.
I second that song. You're not getting into my bed with filthy ass
Nope.
feet for one.
No.
Fuck no.
Go hop in the
no.
goddamn
And if you
shower.
try
That's
to-
gross.
Ask my
If you're
kids. That's
trying
the
to
thing they get yelled at the most about.
Oh, if you're trying to suck on some dirty ass feet,
No, that's too much, man. That's too
And I'm
far.
not knocking the foot fetish thing at all. I just don't get it, and I want to understand it. I'm one of those people, like, it's not like a rarity. Like, it's clearly a big thing. If there's something like, listen, I haven't met a chick who was, like, down on money and didn't say, should I get on Foot Finder? Like, they all say it at one point or another. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be some cred to it. I'm really hoping that we get some, like, chime in. I
Yeah.
want to talk to somebody, even if it's after the show and in the comments, that has a legitimate foot fetish and will tell us about it. I want to know.
On that note, if you're a female watcher and you do have a foot thing and you want pictures, put your email in the comments below and we'll make sure you get some pictures.
Anyway, here's more pics.
And what about chicks that are into feet too? I know there's a lot of dudes out there,
That's what
but
I'm
like the
saying.
movie 40-Year-Old Virgin kind of points up, like, you know, she starts going down on him and she's like, I just want to suck on your big, and she grabs his toe. And then of course he kicks her across the room, gives her a bloody nose, and she's like, you don't know what you're doing. And
Sexy? Me
Yeah.
sucking on your toe.
I'm sorry. Oh, no. Your nose is bleeding.
You think?
I'm sorry.
I'm hot! But now you can't have any of this.
Mm-hmm.
You should just give up forever.
that kind of led to him staying a virgin for a long time. But at the same time, is there chicks who are into feet?
if you are a
Yeah.
chick and you're into feet, that's just disgusting. I'm just going to tell you straight. That's just disgusting.
But also let me know because I will send pictures.
Hey,
I have no problem with sending my feet pictures.
Do you think that
Did-
goes
did
back
you
to
get
daddy
about-
issues?
The foot
good
thing
question.
and daddy issues. It's-
She never got to
Yeah.
see a man come in with a dirty work boot and take it off. You know what I mean?
I got kicked in the face by
It's
a work boot.
definitely a huge market.
Oh,
so
it's big.
it's like it's not like it's not like a taboo kind of thing. But I mean, I'm with Rick though. Like, there's definitely levels to, the fetish itself, and like, I'm curious as to why people like them. I mean, I know my reasons, and I know like we've discussed it. So, it's like I said, there's nothing like gratifying.
And I get the liking a pretty foot too. I get the liking the pretty foot, but there's something different about wanting to fuck it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you're fucking a foot,
definitely.
especially if she's asleep, I don't know what to tell you, but that's just disgusting.
Or if you can't perform or even like get off without being on you or touching it or doing something with
That's
it. Now,
trauma.
there's different
That's
levels
definitely
to that.
sexual trauma.
Yeah.
I don't know
Something
what
happens.
level
When something
Tarantino's
happens,
at
you're
with
like-
his foot thing, but it's evident that he has a foot thing. So it's like, how do you get from not having any, like, from 0 to there? Like, what causes that?
It's because he likes it dirty.
I'm glad you brought that up, Sean, because Tarantino does have a foot thing.
Yes.
But here's my thing, though. For a guy who has a foot thing, you're not displaying the prettiest feet in Hollywood.
No, he likes them dirty. He wants them obscure and dirty. That's part of his deal.
He wants them
They're
dirty.
always dirty
Not
in the
just-
scene.
Not just dirty, but I mean, like the
Some
foot.
of the Hayeks weren't bad.
Salma Hayek has decent feet.
Margot Robbie's right, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
They're okay.
We did
They're not what she's got a little bit of a
They're
knot
not
on one of them.
He has a knot like in her big toe, yeah.
Feet.
I mean, considering the rest of her, you would expect better. I feel like
He just likes hot blondes with dirty feet. Like
For the girls wondering how those knots occur is when you shove your foot into a shoe that doesn't fucking fit you. You're doing that. That's literally the end result. You're gonna get that fucking knot on the side.
And they can fix
did not know
it.
that.
And they can be fixed. They can be fixed, especially these rich motherfuckers.
And if you're a Hollywood person, you should be able to pay to fix that shit.
you said about Oprah, bro.
No
like if you got
excuses.
feet like that, you got money, you got Oprah money, Dave Chappelle. Like that bitch better have somebody in the house every day.
If you got Oprah money, there's no excuse to have a busted anything, really.
Yeah.
Look, I recommend all of you Google Oprah's
Hell
feet.
no. No, I'm good.
Okay.
On that, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll go watch a
Just so
horror
you
movie
don't
before I
think-
do that.
I appreciate you.
Just like I'm
I
exaggerating.
believe you.
You guys should Google her
I
feet.
trust you.
And I'll say this too. Girls who are athletes will generally not have nice feet.
Well, no,
If
they
they
use
do,
their feet too.
There's
But
a reason.
It's a rarity.
Yeah.
Dan,
There's some
Some
exceptions. There's
It's
a few
very rare.
exceptions.
dancers certainly do not have nice. If a dancers have nice arches, some. As far as like toes and the rest of the foot's concerned, those things are hideous. Gymnasts tend to have terrible feet. Fighters tend to have terrible looking feet. There are some who actually have pretty decent feet. I can't remember off the top of my head, but for the most part.
What is going on with her big toe, bro?
Entirely.
Oprah.
You
He's
Googled it?
Googling Oprah.
Yeah.
He did it to himself.
And she's wearing sandals. Like,
And now he can't stop looking at it like a train wreck.
I actually went out of my way
Oh,
and
man.
Googled that to see what it looked like. But Shaq ruined everybody's eye view on national TV when he showed the world what his foot looked like.
Trick or treat. Smell my.
Bro,
oh God.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
when you take
I can only
look at
imagine.
Oprah's foot, look at Oprah's foot and look at Shaq's foot. It's about the same. Maybe not in length.
She should just cut her feet off.
Now, I was going to say at the beginning of the podcast, like, to me, I don't know, because like I said, I don't really have a thing with it, but I feel like an elegant, beautiful foot it's very feminine, and it spells that kind of feminine thing, like an elegant foot just means feminine, that's why, with athletes or girls that work hard, they don't have that. It's harder to maintain. So I feel like as a guy, if you're like a masculine guy, you're looking for a feminine girl, that's something that I think stands out as feminine. I think it's kind of one of those identifying things. That's just, to me, that's what it seems to be.
I have a fetish I would share.
Nice.
What's that?
I really like when my wife puts marshmallow fluff on me and eats it off.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's just food. That's just good stuff.
Well, for one, y'all should put masks on and videotape it and start an OnlyFans. I believe we can raise school.
My wife has been trying to
I don't
get
know why
me
you
to start that
haven't.
OnlyFans for a minute. Like, we figured if we just did all food stuff, like, Randy Marsh.
It's a market. It's
Hey,
a
until
market
you
for
do
it.
it, it's only plans.
It's a market. Man.
Right.
And if there's another view with a foot fetish, my wife has pretty feet, so I'm going to start an OnlyFans with just her feet.
Did you really just say that?
Yeah, it's called Foot Finder, bro. Fuck OnlyFans, do Foot Finder.
You know? We
Promotion.
got
Hey,
bills to pay.
And to
which one's more
piggyback
You know what I
off,
mean?
piggyback off of what Sean was just saying, like it's like a nice foot and it's like elegant, like like a nice high heel or something like that. Like, yeah, man, it's just like an aesthetic. It's a vibe.
I say this, man, those
It's
high
dope.
heels.
But I don't want to do
Yeah,
nothing.
I
I don't want to do
Those
nothing
high
else
heels,
with
those
this
high
stuff.
heels, those high heels are what ruin the girl's feet, fellas. I'm just telling you now.
If you wear them all the time, you got to definitely balance.
They make that ad look so nice.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Be like, damn, girl,
Oh,
them
sorry.
legs would look nice
Big
as a
facts.
necklace for me.
That's big facts. Yes.
Oh, man, but yes, I do want everyone to share, whatever fetish. It doesn't have to be a foot fetish.
Foot fetish party, huh?
Whatever fetish you may have.
Yeah.
And it's a
Everybody got
safe
their
place.
thing.
We won't pick on you.
Yes.
At least we
Yeah,
won't pick
yeah.
on you if we say your name.
Oh yeah.
Might ask why.
Okay.
Yeah. Safe
I'm
place.
curious.
And like,
You
look,
guys-
if you ladies out there want us to start a competition, if you think you have pretty feet, email them to
Hey.
us, and we'll put a poll out there. Prettiest foot in America. You know what I mean? We
Facts.
don't have prizes just yet, but we'll figure something out.
We don't have no
Yeah,
we'll
PlayStation
figure
5 or
something.
nothing, but we'll get there.
Not yet.
PS5
They
or
don't
me.
know.
Yeah, we get.
I mean, I have a PlayStation 5, but I ain't giving it away.
Yeah, it's still, I don't have
Yeah,
an
me
extra
too.
one or
Yeah, it's
anything.
not up.
So good luck in the
Yeah,
contest.
so, yeah, I got an extra.
They're pretty much these paperweights right now. They're on.
So what's what call it? It's
Yeah,
bragging rights.
Well, you know what?
That's what it is.
Participation
We'll
board.
give you a free T-shirt or a hoodie. We'll work that out. We'll
Nice.
get you a
That's-
free T-shirt. and
okay.
everything.
That works.
Whoever wins the pretty, I'm just saying we don't know whether or not.
Somebody getting hit
Well,
about it
see-
right now. Look at that. That was fast. I did.
We're not even streaming live. We're not even streaming live.
That's wild. Crazy how that was fast.
We'll see. We'll definitely see the messages. So certainly, if you have any messages,
Mhm.
let us know.
Always. Yes,
Because
sir.
I used to, in the beginning, we used to get messages and we'd talk about said messages. Maybe we hurt too many feelings at the beginning.
We
Maybe
get
not all.
messages. They're just all too nice right now. Like, our messages seem to be nice right now. Maybe we need to start rocking the boat a little bit and pissing some of y'all off again.
My wife has no idea how to be mean. So if you see
it's gonna have to
nice
come from us.
messages, if you see, that's why I told you guys engage. If you see nice messages, those nice messages are coming from my wife, not from me.
I
gener-
knew that.
I'm generally waiting
Yeah.
I generally wait for those to talk shit, and then I will tear you apart.
Mhm.
Usually the ones that have,
You're the Homelander.
the ones that
That sounds like an invite.
Homelander.
the ones that have
It's the
spoke shit.
Homelander right
I
there.
tore them up. You're not gonna like this. I'm gonna bring your
Mhm.
mom into it. If you want to talk shit to me, I'm gonna bring your mom in,
Mm.
and you're not gonna like how I bring your mom
Yeah.
into it.
We're gonna go further than
I'm definitely.
We're gonna be
Love
so
it.
famous.
love it.
You guys think
Man.
50 Cent is a troll? You think 50 is petty?
I'm
I
saying.
am the worst, dude.
Mm.
I had other accounts set up just so I could troll.
That sounds about right. That does sound about right.
Damn. I ain't never seen that though. Burner accounts,
Yeah.
trolling burner
That's
accounts.
new.
That's
That's
epic, bro.
rough.
That's
I
another
figured,
level.
I figured, hey, Kevin Durant could do it. These niggas can do it. Why can't
impressive.
I do it?
That's actually impressive, bro. Like that's actually really
That's
I
Yeah,
had
impressive.
one
that's
account. I
And
had
I've
one
seen that.
burner account. I had
Mm-mm.
one burner account
That's
shut
cool.
down because of the shit I was saying to somebody on there, and I had to open up. I had to open up another burner account just to get at that person that tried to block me. You're like, nah, motherfucker, I'm here all
Hey.
day, every day, in your
Get 'em.
motherfucking face, bitch.
Get 'em.
And then that one
But you
got
know
shut down
what?
too.
Oh, to be
Yeah,
completely
I had
honest,
to open up another one.
Hey, to be completely honest, everybody on the internet is tough, man.
Everybody.
Like, everybody feels like they can say and do what they want, and it's like, bro, somebody's gonna check you at some point. Like,
Right,
it's
somebody
gonna
tell-
happen. So if you're not ready to receive it, like, don't put it out there unless you're ready for it to come back at
Exactly.
100 times harder. That's the way I live. Like,
I've been told I had a punchable face, so I was like, you'd love to say that outside.
I had somebody try to defend the Island Boys on the internet.
I'm a just island boy. I'm a just island boy.
What kind of
There's
defense?
no
though?
defense.
Like,
There's no defense.
come on, bro.
defending
Thank
their
you.
character or what? Like,
Yeah,
how were they
talking
defending
about,
them?
Absolutely.
That's
These are innocent kids. So,
well.
you know what,
stop
Mark? You
it,
know what,
bro.
Mark? I was like, I responded back. What are you, retarded? Oh, that
disclaimer.
comment gets banned.
Full
Really?
disclaimer. Full disclaimer. Retarded is from the root word of the Latin retardando, which is a musical term, means to slow down. That's how we're using it here. They're slow. No, they just fucking
I think it-
retarded.
Ain't no way you defend the Island Boys, man. That's come on, bro. Now I feel like that's trolling. Now I feel like they were trying
Probably.
to troll your troll, like just to like be and outraged. Yeah, they wanted to be outraged by something, so it's like I'm going to go ahead and defend the indefensible. Like, come on, man, what are you talking about?
You all know how the social medias give us daily. Like, these are your memories from so many years ago. Today was that day that we were all fucking with Robin Hood when they went and closed down. We all had our buys in for AMC and GameStop, and they turned it off at like 4:00 in the morning. They fucked us all. That was today.
That was crazy when they did that shit.
I saw all the trolls because I was talking shit, and all these people were on there like, "Oh, it's not gonna do nothing." And then what did it do? I started going in like I got
Exactly.
blocked a bunch. I got blocked a bunch from that time period.
But listen, despite what you've heard us say, we encourage you to.
We're actually really friendly.
We really are. We encourage you to engage. Let us know what you think. Just don't be an
Always.
asshole, because I'm a bigger asshole. I'm just letting you know. Please check out our merch. We'd love for you guys to purchase.
Yeah.
If you're also looking for any artwork, please hit my Nephew Nate up. His info's in our bio for sure. I know that for sure. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Back to you, Marcus.
And if you like our intro and outro track, the track is called Trap Sex by the artist NISH. You can find his music on YouTube and
Yes, sir.
SoundCloud. He's got a lot of great music on there.
Yes, he
Check
does.
him out. Dope.
So that's all the time we have, folks. Signing off. I'm Al, Marcus, Rick, and Sean. Peace.
Later.